Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another movie review. Recently I saw Jobs, which is about Steve Jobs, his life, his legacy, and his inventions, his contribution to society. And it's not sugarcoated at all. I have a lot of respect for Mr. Jobs, even though he probably wasn't the most likable person. He was hard to get along with. He was very vitriolic. He insulted people that he thought were beneath him. If they didn't go along with what he wanted, he would vilify them and he would fire them, actually. And if you read the biography written of him, it says the very same thing, and it's actually very fascinating if you have a chance to read it. I love the movie, and I thought that Ashton Kutcher, this is his absolute best portrayal ever. He is superior in this performance. He's got Jobs' mannerisms down to a T, his voice, his expressions, even his walk. He has that down absolutely perfect. And I actually read something in Esquire before I saw the movie, and Ashton had a review with them, and he said that he had studied Steve before in video, and he wanted to get everything down, just the smallest idiosyncrasy. He wanted to get that down to an art, and he did, and I thought that was really tremendous. This movie is absolutely fascinating, and I think it's one of the best movies I've ever seen, and it just shows the the contrast between how he was raised versus Bill Gates. Well, it only mentions Bill Gates in passing, because Bill Gates actually stole an idea of his, and Steve just went off the handle, which, you know, he should have, and I understand why he did, because I actually had that happen to me once. I had an idea, of course I didn't have it written out, I just had a blueprint of it, and it was, I forget what it was for, but I have all my innovations are on paper, the ones that I've done, and I actually called the patent office. This was before my cat Julian was found underneath the recliner dead. So he said, you know, we can make a deal here, and you would only have to pay such and such and so and so. And I said, I didn't think that I had to pay anything for this service, because I didn't know prior to that. And he said, oh, I can't give you anything if you don't give me any money. And I said, sir, I am, first of all, I was still a student. Second of all, I was working in a job that there's no way I could possibly afford this fee. And I told him that, I said, I can't afford your service fee. There's just no possible way. He says, well, I'm afraid we can't do business. And I said, well, you're just not being understanding. He wasn't being understanding. And, you know, he was yelling at me, and I was crying, and you know, and then that's when I found Julian, and you know, he had been hopping off of the chairs. He was my ginger tabby, you know, one of my favorite cats. All my cats were my favorites, but I had a special place in my heart for Julian. He was found underneath a chair. His neck was broken, and there was blood next to his mouth. And I just lost it. I was inconsolable for days, and you know, I never called that patent office ever again. But I understood what Steve went through. Well, he had it worse than I did, and that patent office was just, they were a bunch of jerks anyway. So, I am done with that. But poor Steve. I mean, he had his retribution. But he was just, you know, he never grew up, he never changed, and it shows that. But it's still a really good object lesson, I think, and especially in how he raises his children, and you see that. And there's really never a lot of love in that and his family, there was enabling, but there was never love, and you could see that mirrored in how he parents, or lack thereof, of his children. And I really think that Ashton should get a Globe for this, or an honorable mention, even though he doesn't. But I give it 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, hands down. It's one of the best biographical films I've seen in a good long while, and I highly recommend it if you're a fan of Steve, like I am.